We're gonna keep trying over and over. Yeah. I said it ain't no stopping. No. See, it ain't no way, no way. We won't kind of polish up, keep us down. See, our time has finally came around. So we're on the move. We're really got our move. We're moving You're tuned in to 105.1, the music muscle of the shows, and V 105.9, the vibe, Dothan, Alabama. Thank you for tuning in to the baddest radio station from North Alabama to South Alabama, where we say ain't no stopping us now. All right, guys, I hope you went and visit our Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok, Amazon Music, YouTube. Make sure you share our live and comment. Today we're going to be talking about October is all about National Bullying Month, National Bullying Prevention Month. We're back. It's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's all kinds of we have all kinds of things that we're supporting this month. We're going to have different people on talking about different things. Today I will be having the coordinator of Bay. It's a prevention it's a bullying prevention organization in the shows area that we'll be speaking with them. I was sitting there after I watched so many news articles. I'd be thinking about, do you think a lot of our crimes are caused because of kids being bullied or feel like they're not in place? So therefore they taking the anger out and they're either killing someone or killing themselves or whatever. Because National Bullying Prevention Month actually came up. The purpose is dedicated to educating the community and uniting people to take action against bullying. But in the schools, in our communities, and organizations to promote activities and dialogue to address and to prevent bullying. It's about Unity Day is a signature event held during October, which promotes wearing and sharing the color orange. And the focus of it is the campaign to emphasize the importance of kindness, acceptance, and inclusion of all youth and children, all. And the goal is to raise awareness about long-term impact of bullying to promote a safer environment for everyone. So we'll be talking to Ms. Owens here later in the show. But right now, I want you to make sure you go to our website. That's www.knoxmediagroupinc.org and get your tickets for Dr. Jamal Bryant. And also, that's November the 23rd. It's going to be at the Renaissance Resort and Spa in Florence, Alabama. Also, make sure if you're a church organization, whether you're D9 or other sorority and fraternities, make sure you also we are having Thanksgiving in the Park. I've had people call and say, hey, I want to be a part of it. So Thanksgiving in the Park will be in the shows area on November the 16th. That's a Sunday afternoon. We'll be at Wilson Park, downtown Florence, Alabama. If your organization or church organization would like to be a part of that, you can do so by calling us here at the station. That's 256-712-2888. We'll make sure we get you the proper paperwork so you could be a part. Even if you can't set up a table, if you want to make a donation or whatever you like to do, because we want to make this bigger and bigger every year. I just had someone to call me a little while ago and wanted to know is it just for Black churches, white church? Who is it? I said it's for the community. It's for everyone. So we want everyone to be involved in this because we want to make this bigger and bigger every year. So if your organization, church or family, whomever would like to set up a table The only requirements we ask that whatever you have on your table, you're giving it away for absolutely free. Absolutely free. So you have to give it away. You can't sell anything because we're just thankful for where we are. So we want to make sure this is for everyone. So everyone can come out, eat, fellowship. Let's have a good time. We're going to have great music. So we just asked you to come out to this event on November the 16th. On this coming Saturday, it's a lot going on. I know it's UNA's homecoming, and it's also the Muscle Shoals District Women's and Minister Wives organization is having a women's conference. And we've been asked to announce that. So y'all come on out to that. That's going to be held at First Baptist Tuscumbia, starting at 10 o'clock a.m. They have a lot of different speakers, a lot of people that will be, a lot of women that will be there for that. So the women's conference will be Saturday, October the 18th at 10 o'clock at First Baptist Tuscumbia. We want to thank Miss Hamilton for always keeping us informed on that. She's the president of that organization. So y'all go out and support on Saturday for that event. And that's the Muscle Shoals District Women's Minister Wives Division that's hosting it, but it's for all women. So y'all go out for that event on Saturday. It's the parade Saturday. UNA's parade is Saturday. It will be held this coming Saturday as well. Like I said, it's so much going on, but we also want you to take advantage of the different preventions on next Monday. If you need a appointment, women, the show's clinic is hosting a women's clinic, and it will be next week as well. But you have to have an appointment. To have an appointment for the women's clinic, you can call 256-760-4713. And again, that's 256-710-760. I'm sorry. Let me get the number again. 760-4713, and make sure you go ahead and make your appointment. You have to have an appointment. Women's, they will be doing free pap smears and mammograms on Monday the 20th, and Thursday is the 24th. So y'all go out for that. No, Friday is the 24th. So Monday and Friday, those are the two dates for that. That's held at the Shoals Clinic. It's at 309B WC Handy Place, Florence, Alabama. And to make an appointment, you have to call 256-760-4713, and it's absolutely free. If you have any announcements, you can send those public service announcements. You can send those to info@knoxmediagroupinc.org. That's info@knoxmediagroupinc.org. And we'll be glad to get those announcements out. If you would like to be a sponsor of Knox Media Group, you can call us at 256-712-2888, and we will make sure your sponsorship will be known. We'd like to thank some of our sponsors. We like to thank Hyundai of Dothan, Pilgrim's Pride. If you look for a job, Pilgrim's Pride is hiring. You can go to pilgrimspride.com and get your application for that. We like to thank some of our other locals. We'd like to thank Galilee Church. That's Galilee Missionary Baptist Church. That's 23001 County Road 14. Have Bible study tonight at 6:30, feeding at 6 o'clock, workouts at 5:30 p.m. So that's what's going on. So we got a lot going on, but we want to make sure you stay informed on what's going on. We're going to come back to talk about a little news. And we're going to go from there, and we're going to talk to someone about bullying. So y'all make sure you keep it locked in to the baddest radio station from North Alabama to South Alabama. That's 105.1, the music muscle of the shows, and V 105.9, the vibe, Dothan, Alabama. So like I said, I know y'all like that Southern, so there's some good lunchtime music. So we're going to listen to some Southern soul. And also make sure y'all call in, put some messages out on our Facebook page of some things that you would like for us to talk about, some different topics. I know y'all miss Mona, because Mona give y'all some stuff to talk about and something to put on your mind. But you're listening to 105.1. Yeah.
We're back with a mission. That's right, 105.9 Dothan, Alabama, the vibe. WDX 1500 PM and now 105.9 Dothan, Alabama. Rocking and shaking, giving you the beats the way you like them.
You tuned in. You're tuned in to 105.1, the music muscle of the shows, and V 105.9, the vibe, Dothan, Alabama. As I was saying earlier, this month is Bullying Prevention Month, and I have the pleasure of having Miss Turinda with us today on the line. Are you there, Turinda?
Hello, how you doing?
Good, good, good. All righty. So I've been watching you. How long have you been doing you can tell us the acronym of it and a, a prevention bullying coordinator, I guess what I would call it. So you can explain to us exactly what it is and your acronyms and all that.
Okay, so bullying was found by the I Stand campaign in 2013. And so BASE stands for bullying affects everybody. And because of that, be kind, act respectful, and express compassion. And this year we added another layer to it, which stands for be accountable every day.
Oh, now that's deep right there. Be accountable every day.
Be accountable every day, yes.
Okay, so tell us about your role and the organization. So you said 2013, so it's been actually in the show's area since 2013.
Yes, 2013. Like I said, it was founded. It's another layer of the I Stand campaign, which I founded in 2011. And so, of course, I am the founder. And I found that with the I Stand campaign, one of the running themes that I was going into schools and organizations talking about was bullying. And so in 2013, that's like when the term or the slang word kind of hit that young people were using for, their boyfriend or their girlfriend. And so because I love acronyms, I decided to flip that. Okay. I flipped it and started using it for my bullying prevention initiative, which again, the first thing I thought about is how bullying affects everybody. One person can be bullied, but eventually it's going to hit the home, it's going to hit the school, and then it'll hit the community. So that's what I mean by bullying affects everybody. And then I looked at, okay, because of that, what can we do as a community, at a school, as parents? What can we do, to play a role in that? And so I came up with just 3 basic values of kindness, respect, and compassion. So with that, I just, admonish people to be kind, act respectful, and express compassion. And then, like I said, this year I added the other layer of be accountable every day, because we need to be accountable of doing something every day to change the narrative of bullying, whether it's kindness, whether it's respect or compassion. Let's hold each other in being accountable for our actions and how we treat one another.
Yeah, that's definitely important. So since I know you added this layer this year, but over the years, especially with social media on the rise and, so many people go to social media for everything, How
Mm-hmm.
has bullying really changed? How have you seen it change?
So it has definitely changed. I'll say we started seeing a shift in 2023. But now we're at 2025. And so what we see now is, we've gone beyond the schoolyard bullying. We're dealing with digital bullying, whether it's through, computer or our phones, through social media, through some of these gaming platforms that our young people are online. So it's basically, we're seeing just a lot of online digital, which is now invisible. And that's how
Right.
it's able to hide, because, you have young people setting up fake accounts, pretending to be friends with somebody only to attack them. You have young people setting up fake accounts, acting as if they want to be in a relationship with a person, only to, bring hurt or harm. And then a lot of our young people are on streaming online to play a lot of the games. And so they have these friend attachments to people all over the world. But even with that, they're getting into bullying online on the gaming platforms. So some of those platforms are having to put in, restrictions, trying to, come against some of the bullying and online violence that we're seeing.
Yeah, because I know, it used to be probably when I was growing up, you saw more physical or mental abuse than
Exactly.
now. I have seen more verbal, more well, I guess verbal would be mental too, but nowadays you see more cyber bullying, where people are, like you said, just stated, a lot of people are attacking one another through social media or through the games, things like
Yeah.
that. And so I never really understood, and I guess I consider people to be more of a coward when you are behind something than you can actually face.
Mhm.
When I was growing up, you can call somebody, you tell somebody that's your mama or that's your daddy. You play the dozens with them, and it didn't
Yeah.
affect us as bad as it does now. Now
Mhm.
you tell a child that's your mama, that's your daddy. They're ready to blow your head off, or I don't think they understand the concept of playing the dozens. What do you think?
Mhm.
Where have you seen? Where do you think that eliminated from? Where do you think a lot of the teasing stopped and more people took it as more of a bullying aspect? What do you think about that?
Well, the difference is when we talk about teasing or being mean and bullying, the difference in being mean or teasing
Hmm.
from bullying is repetitive.
Okay.
It's consistent, and it's about a power imbalance. So, with teasing, that just may be, it could be a one-time thing or every blue moon. But with bullying, that's like, you have me targeted, or I have you targeted. And I'm doing this thing consistently, repetitively, and I'm using my power over you. I'm trying to control you. So that's kind of the difference, in maybe what we did, back in our day. It was bullying. There was
Right.
bullying back then too, but you see more teasing, because with the teasing, hey, we're gonna end up being friends like 15-20 minutes later.
Right.
um and we kind of just shrug it off. But back then, because it's just like with anything else, bullying took place, but it was the same thing like with mental illness, mental health. It was just a stigma. So most people that were even bullied in our day, they didn't talk about it. But what you see now is was pretty wild. Now is you see people our age talking about how they were bullied at 10 and 8, and it's still having an impact. Like when they talk about it now, they almost get triggered
Right.
by talking about it because they're reliving it. But that shows you they didn't feel like they were able to talk about it. Why? Because we shrugged it off as, oh, that's just what people do, or you just being picked on. No, it was bully because it affected them emotionally so much so that it still affects them as an adult.
Right. Okay. So now, how can some parents or teachers or myself, peers, recognize signs that someone is being bullied? What are some of the warning signs? So what are some of the signs to recognize?
So some of the emotional and behavioral signs, you want to look for things like a sudden mood change. If your child, all of a sudden, your child was happy or energetic, maybe they're acting sad, withdrawn, they're angry, or, some are easily frustrated. Maybe they're avoiding certain places like school. Maybe, all of a sudden, it seems like they're being, or saying they're more sick than they normally are. You want to pay attention. Are they creating, illnesses just because they don't want to go to school, or maybe if they have a little after school job, maybe they don't want to go to work, or there's certain activities, maybe they don't want to go to football practice or cheerleading practice anymore. Those things, you want to really watch. Then you want to check maybe their self-esteem. Things that they're saying, their talk, such as, I'm dumb, I can't do that, nobody likes me, loss of interest. Maybe, we saw them, hanging out with their friends, but they're no longer hanging out with their friends. Maybe they wanted to quit something that they were doing. Maybe it's some hobbies, if they were in the band, if they played an instrument, just certain things that they did as a hobby. Maybe they don't have interest in that. And I'm talking about interest more than just, sometimes, our interest changes, of course, especially as a young person, but something we know that they really loved. That they just don't want to do anymore. Maybe there's some type of unexplained anxiety or fear. We just really want to watch that grade. We want to watch the grade, see if they're slipping, change a routine, especially like isolation, just staying in their room. Now we know, some of this we just have to, because our children are changing.
Right.
They like to stay in their room because they want to play on the games or watch TV or whatever they do in there. But it's that different type of isolation of, even if it's, shopping, we know that they used, like to shop, but they don't even want to do that anymore. All they want to do is kind of stay in their room. Or keep to themselves. Those are things. And then physically, we want to look for some unexplained injuries. Maybe some belongings end up coming up missing, especially those things that were expensive. Some of these games that, we buy for the kids, maybe those are coming up missing. Maybe they're having to give those, or being forced to give those away. And then we want to watch maybe their sleeping pattern. Maybe they're not sleeping like they were. And I'm not talking about, because I deal with kids all the time, and I know they're not sleeping because they're on the game. They sneaking being on the game.
That's right.
At 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Had a volume turned down, but I'm talking about like some kids really go to sleep 8 or 9 o'clock, they wore out. But now you're finding that they're maybe up during the middle of the night, having problems staying asleep. Maybe they're complaining about headaches, stomach aches for no apparent reason. So, and I know these can be signs, of something else, but even with that, we just need to talk more to our children to find out, what's going on. Ask those open-ended questions, not the questions that we're going to get a quick no. Yes, I don't know. You want to get them talking about their day and how they're really feeling.
Have you seen a certain age group that's more vulnerable to bullying?
Yes.
Okay, what age is
Middle
normal?
school and girls.
I can agree with that.
Say that again.
I say I can agree with that, because I remember when my daughter was she was middle school, 5th grade, and I would never forget she's always been that happy child, but I remember at one time it was a group of girls picking on her.
Uh-huh.
And I could tell she was like, okay, I want to quit playing basketball. I wanted to quit doing this. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? And the more I talked to her, and she wasn't really releasing because she knew her mom was that mama bear. It's like, okay, I'm going to handle mine. So therefore, she would, like, little things she would always say, well, I got a headache, and I can see what you're saying definitely with the signs. And that's one thing parents, I think sometimes we allow our kids to just quit because they say they want to quit. But I make a rule: if you start something, we don't stop it. It's a continuance. You gotta start it. You're gonna finish it. So if you start this semester, you're gonna finish whatever you started until the semester's over. So whatever it is, you can't just start and stop, because those are things I feel like, as you said, you're finding out that something else is going on, something else is triggering it, especially when you know those are things that happen. So
exactly.
So it encountered her 5th grade year, part of her 6th grade year. But after that, I never even witnessed her even having anyone doing anything to her after that. Because I think girls go through that hormonal stage, and we are jealous of one another. We're trying to find out who we are as a young lady. And if we already think this person is more popular than us, or this person get more attention than us, or this person is more athletic, or whatever the case may be, we tend to pick with those people if we think we can. And so it allows that person who's being attacked doing everything right, but it's like, I don't have as many friends as this person may have friends, because they the bullier always they're gonna get someone else. They get a bunch of people to fall in line with them because they can't do it alone. They're like, we're cowards. I can't I can't just pick on this person by myself. I gotta get this person to be on my side, or that person to be on my side. And those are things that I was talking to a parent, and I said, those are things that we need to not allow our kids to do, is to form opinions based on other people.
Come on now.
And I see that happening in our community more than other communities, because other communities, they don't really, Becky gonna like everybody, and you can't stop Becky for who she gonna like. But you gonna get me, Tamika, because you tell me, remember, they mama didn't like my mama. We fall in suit with that.
Come on now. Come on.
And that's a lot of times I feel like it's generational curses, generational habits that we pick up, and we keep them going, not thinking for ourselves.
And you killing it. You hitting the nail on the head. And one thing you said that's really important is, getting all these other people involved. One of the things I talk about a lot is like the bystanders, or those who bully. I try to change my language too, because I don't like to say the word a bully.
Right.
But I'm changing my language as well, because that's almost name calling. And so I try to say the person who bullied. But where I was going with this is those who bully like an audience.
Right.
They like, and it could be an audience of 2, 3, or 10. And that's sadly what we have is an audience. And the more people that's around, the more that person who's bullying is going to be heightened to do whatever it is they doing to a person. And so what I want to encourage, is just, I try to encourage young people, is that when you see someone bullying, and I know it's, creature of habit, and it's social media, because you see it on social media. The quickest thing we want to do is crowd around, see what's going on, and egg a person on. But my thing is, if it takes one person to take a stand to help somebody out, to call somebody out for their behaviors, to say what you're doing is not right, how you're talking about somebody is not right, how you're treating somebody is not right, and if they don't hang around it, then that person who's bullying does not have an audience.
Right.
Because it's all about, it's adding to that power, helping them to feel so powerful. So going back to like the girls, the reason why is in middle school because they're going through, you said it, those hormonal changes. And then, I work with outside of, being at UNA, I do contract work outside, therapy work with adolescents. I have young girls telling me they like to fight. They like, and I'm sitting there like, just my mind ain't blown, but I'm frustrated because a lot of this starts at home. Or can be cut off at home. But, because it's not, some of it is not, it's like our young kids at 11 and 12, our young girls, especially at that, at 11 and 12 years old are going around and they want this power. They want to be, because, when you at our middle schools around, they're big.
Right.
And so they want to stand out. They don't want to be just a number of, 1,000. They want to stand out in some kind of way, even if it's negative. And so they're fighting for clout. They're fighting for popularity. And if that means that, it takes them fighting someone or calling someone out or making someone feel bad, and then they're gaining that attention from the wrong crowd, then that's what they're doing. And so that's why, even research-wise, the numbers all over for middle school kids, particularly girls, are high right now. And even the same thing, if it's not the physical in your face at the school, in the bathroom, catching them in the bathroom, in the halls, in PE, because that's normally where some of this activity takes place. Then it's behind the scenes of the digital, the screens. And that's because it's harder to detect. Online, it's harder to get charged. It's harder to get disciplined. It's easy to kind of hide out online, to make up these fake accounts and hurt each other online. So that's why we're even seeing the increase. And now, let me say this, with AI,
I know.
We're about to, and I'm not trying to speak something into existence, but the thing is, with people cloning themselves, twinning themselves, using AI to create fake people, it's just going to get worse.
Yeah. I know you made a statement about the bystanders. What advice would you give a bystander who want to help but don't know how? Because, a lot of people, especially children, a lot of children are afraid to go and say something because they don't want to be drawn into it. So what would be something to someone that's listening? What would be some advice that you would have for them to help them to go to someone else to say, hey, don't be scared to say what happened? What advice do you give for that?
So what I normally tell young kids is, because I don't want any kid to get hurt because they're trying to, maybe help somebody out of a situation. But what I would say is, there's always, and I believe in a saying, I know it's kind of corny to them, but if you see something, say something. So if they don't feel safe enough to, walk up to the situation and tell the person that's bullying, hey, you don't need to say that. That's not cool. That's not right. If they immediately see it, don't be the bystander that just stands by and watches or laughs or partakes in the audience. Quickly go get an adult, and whether it's a teacher, counselor, it could be the janitor, as long as it's an adult. And tell them, what's going on. That's if they're somewhere, out in public, say at school or, out in the community somewhere. Again, if they're fearful, they don't want to get caught up in it, just quickly go and tell an adult. Don't just stand there and laugh, because the thing is, you could be next.
Right.
Always put yourself in somebody else's place or their shoes is what I say. But if I'm talking to a young person, just put yourself in their place, which you want to be that person that's getting picked on, that's getting pushed on, that's getting, messed with. And if the answer is no, then my thing is, if you're afraid, just go tell an adult and let them handle it. Or if they're not afraid, they don't necessarily have to get involved, but they can walk up to the person that's being bullied and say, hey, come on, go with me.
Right.
And find that cool type of way to just distract them and bring that person, pull that person out of the situation. Or if they feel comfortable enough and safe enough, say to the person who's bullying, hey, you need to stop. Yeah. You don't need to say that. What you're doing is wrong. So there's 3 ways. It's either go tell somebody if they're scared, if they don't want to be involved in the situation, or the person who's bullying, talk to them, just stay focused on that person and say, hey, come on, go with me. Let's go to, somebody's room, or let's go over here. Just getting them out of the situation that they're in, that they find themselves in. Or they can actually say to the person that's doing the bullying, hey, what you're doing is wrong. They can call them out on it.
Right.
But my thing is, don't participate. Don't be a part of the audience that's sitting watching.
Exactly. So I know you this weekend y'all are doing something. You want to tell the listening audience what you have going on?
So definitely this year, we will be walking in UNA's homecoming parade, and this will be the 9th year that we've been doing this. So this is not, I try to tell somebody, you may have folks that do fly by night or just jump on a situation because there's issues happening. That has never been my thing. Now, if I see an issue happening, I may address it. But this is something I've been doing a long time. And so this is our ninth year walking in UNA's homecoming parade. And we call it the Bay Walk, even though it's part of the homecoming parade. Mm-hmm. We call it the Bay Walk. And what we do is we just ask young people, children, adolescents, even adults, parents, to walk with us in solidarity, taking a stand, making a commitment to say, we stand against bullying. And we don't even really give a whole lot of attention to the bullying factor. We talk about more so, hey, let's stand for kindness, let's stand for respect, and let's stand for compassion. Be a buddy, not a bully. We carry signs during the parade. I create all these wild chants that we do from the time we start until the time we end. Everybody that walks, they get a T-shirt. So we look very uniformed as we're walking. And we've done it so long that the audience looks forward to it. The past 2 years, I missed just because I personally went through, just was busy and really didn't have the time.
Life was lifing.
Yeah, yes, there you go. Life was lifing. And not that it's not lifing now, but because it just got to that point. Every time I turn around on social media, I'm seeing a parent, going off on the school or going off about an incident. But this is my problem with that. There's a lot of things I do throughout the year. I don't wait till October is Bullying Prevention Month. But I don't wait till October just to do something. My thing is that there are things, and not just me, other organizations do that deal with bullying. But, my thing is get involved. We can't keep holding the school accountable for everything because some of this stuff is not even happening in school and we try to make it the school's responsibility. We have to take, I don't have, as they say, a dog in the fight or anything like that. I'm just a community member like anybody else. But I'm trying to play my role. And being a part of the solution. So again, that's Saturday. We're asking anybody to come walk with us. We line up at 10:30 at the Big Church of Christ on the Hill. That's on Pine Street, which is across the street from the dorms. You'll see people in the parking lot. My organization is called I Stand Campaign, or BAY. We'll be in the blue T-shirts. Just join us, adults, children, young people. Again, we'll be walking, talking about taking a stand against bullying, doing some chants, really having a fun and engaging time in spreading a message of hope and strength. And so we welcome anybody to come. You can contact me on social media. We have a I Stand Campaign page on Facebook. We have a BAY page on Facebook. And then I have my personal social media page on Facebook. So they can DM me and just say, hey, me and my whole family going to walk, or I'm going to walk. My name is such and such. T-shirt cutoff was last Saturday, but it's a possibility that I can get some more. If people hit me up today, I may can have them done by Saturday. Can't promise that, but we still want people to walk. And if anybody wants to donate candy, we throw candy during the parade. And so if you come and walk, if you can bring candy, you don't have to though. Don't think you have to, just show up. But if you can bring candy, and maybe you're out there and you're saying, hey, I can't walk because of this, that, or the other. Maybe you want to help us out. I still have plenty other things to buy, materials to buy. Again, candy, and that can be very costly. So if anybody wants to make any type of donation of any sort, they can get in touch with me. The best way I would say is through Facebook. Again, that's Trenda Owens on Facebook, or the I Stand Campaign, or BAY on Facebook. And I'm always looking for volunteers. I really need some adults to help me, because I want to make sure the kids are safe at the parade, that, they don't get hurt or anything like that. And I want our kids to know that we're standing in solidarity with them, that we have their back. So that's why I ask for adults as well. But I got some of the kids. I do psychoeducational groups with the young people at the Rescue Me Project in Sheffield 3 times a month. So some of those kids have expressed interest in walking. But you can be any age. If you're able to walk, hey, we welcome you to walk with us.
All right, guys. So y'all heard it. Y'all come on out this weekend and support our community. That's one thing I always say. We got to learn to support one another, because as long as they're seeing us support one another, they're going to bring togetherness as well. They only do what they see. So y'all come out. We know it's National Prevention Bullying Month, but it's not about that. It's about support, and it's about what we do here at Knox Media Group. Our motto is love, unity, and diversity. So we want to make sure that we are bringing love, unity, and diversity throughout our community, and making sure we're all working together. So y'all go out this weekend, support, go out and learn more about BAY. Learn more about how we can help one another in this area. So if there's anything we can do here from Knox Media Group, we'll be there to help. So make sure y'all keep it locked into the baddest radio station from North Alabama to South Alabama. That's 105.1, the music muscle of the shows, and V 105.9, the vibe, Dothan, Alabama. So thank you, Trenda, for coming on. We thank you.
Thank you for having me and thinking about us.
Yes. So thank you for everything you do for our youth and continue to do. But we'll get back with you. But thank you for today. Have a good day.
You too now.
All right. Bye. All right, guys. So make sure y'all do that. Go out this weekend, support one another. But we want to make sure you're supporting us here at Knox Media Group as well. Go ahead and get your tickets for Dr. Jamal Bryant. It's going on November the 23rd at the Renaissance Resort and Spa. You can get your tickets at www.knoxmediagroupinc.org. That's www.knoxmediagroupinc.org. And also, Thanksgiving in the Park, November the 16th. We got a lot going on. We'll be celebrating the old school preacher on November the 30th. So we got a lot going on the whole month of November, but all we're going to be missing is you. But you don't even have to be missing. You can be there with us. So make sure you keep it locked in. We want to send condolences to the family of from S&K Mortuary. Carolyn Armstrong family. They are doing funeral service for her today in Dothan. So we want to send our respects and condolences to that family. And also, if there's anything S&K Mortuary can do for you, that's at 1039 North Range Street, Dothan, Alabama. Make sure you give them a call at 334-792-4141. That's 334-792-4141. Make sure we get that out. But also, make sure you stay aware of what's going on. Get your kids involved in different activities. You get involved in different activities and call us here at Knox Media Group. There's anything we can do. That's 256-712-2888. And I promise you, we'll be there and we'll help you out. But we want to make sure y'all support us as well with everything we got. We want to keep things going and keep you busy right here in this community. But y'all make sure you lock into the baddest radio vibe, Dothan, Alabama. I'm getting up out of here. I just wanted to jump on. We're gonna talk about different things every day, but I wanted to jump on and get you about bullying prevention. So Saturday, Bay will be in the parade. That's UNA's parade this coming Saturday. So y'all make sure you share our Facebook pages, share our Instagram, share our TikTok, and our YouTube page. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you. The church secretary is getting out of here. Got a lot more things I need to do. But y'all have a great day. Go to Bible study tonight. If you don't have a church home to go to, you can visit us at Galilee Missionary Baptist Church. That's 23001 County Road 14 in Florence, Alabama. Bye.
That's right. 105.9 Dothan, Alabama. The Vibe.